Good morning, everybody. Wait, no, it's not the morning. We got a late afternoon episode. I got Trae Blumhorst in the building, and Big Dave is back to back weeks. Big Dave, how we feeling?
Back to back weeks. I'm excited to be on here today, talk about mental health. How are we doing today?
Good, man. I got the Me Too We shirt on. Got to speak at that men's group this morning, and just my cup's been overflowed. I'm not gonna lie, my social battery is tipping. It's also tryout week for my baseball and my softball girls in the facility. But like leaving a morning like that, man, I'm excited. And Trae knows this, man. There ain't anybody better in the Rockford basketball world than Trae Blumhorst, man. I'm excited to have him on. Trae, zero. What's good, baby?
I appreciate it, brother. How we doing?
I'm really good, man. How was your night in Chicago last night?
It was good. Went up for Ross's birthday. Got to see some friends and got home and safe.
It's all about, man. And it's always good to hear from Ross. And I'm glad that you guys are still super close, man. It's friendships like that is why we do this podcast. And I'm excited to have you on, like I mentioned. Trae, what I do want to touch on, though, like this is a mental health podcast. You did take time out of your Sunday to jump on here. Talk about why you want to come on, man.
Well, mostly for you, man. I mean, we go way back from college and got really close there and haven't been able to see you much lately, but I'm still coaching. I'm still involved in athletics, and I just know how important it is, and hopefully it can make some impact.
I love it, man. And you always did, not only as a player and a friend to me, but now as a coach to a lot of kids, man. And that was always the route I thought you were going to go, coach and teacher. And that's just your personality, man. Dave, I know it's your first time, obviously, meeting Trae. I'm going to let you rip off a question first. Go ahead.
Yeah, so my first question of the week is, what did you do this week for your mental health?
I actually, like I was just talking to you guys about starting my masters and stuff. I actually kind of took an easy week and only did my quiz and discussion and kind of put off the big assignment just because I've been grinding on it. And I just finished basketball the week before, so this was my week to relax and not really do much.
No, for sure. And that's much needed at times, right? When you're grinding, when you got a group of kids that you put so much energy, so much effort into. Talk about those boys, man. Talk about your team you had this year in the winter.
So this is my first year. I just moved to Ottawa High School, which is a pretty big school. After I was at Depew, that had about 100 kids in the school. Now I got 1,300. So just moving over there and kind of starting over and stuff, but it's been great. And just being able to get involved in basketball and being around the kids and stuff helps so much for that transition, really getting to know them. But it was great. I'm coaching under a coach named Mark Cooper, who's a legend. He's got 300 wins, has been there for like almost 30 years. So just being able to learn under him and stuff has been amazing.
No doubt, no doubt. And having someone like that kind of mentor you and bring you in is fantastic. And it's a new challenge for you, which I think is exciting. What are you seeing, man? Current state, high school athletics, even lower end, like, travel ball stuff, small town stuff. What are you seeing in the mental health world in basketball?
It's like a few times this year, we made it an emphasis to like give them a day off and stuff. And one of the big things that, I really focus on is, getting to know the kids and not as much the X's and O's part of it, but like really teaching them, how to go about it, how to keep their head in it and being able to take their time off when they need it, but staying committed. I don't think it gets enough focus from a lot of coaches, that especially the mental aspect. Everyone's so focused on plays and teaching them the game. And I think that the mental part kind of gets put off aside. So it's one of my big focuses when I'm out there with them.
No doubt. Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, that's huge to just make it aware that your athletes have someone to talk to about their mental health if they're going through. Is there anything specifically you do to make mental health awareness as a coach?
The biggest thing for me is like I truly really try to just get to know the kids. So I mean, just asking them about whatever's going on in their life, talking to them about their family, just like the small stuff that they probably don't even realize it. When I'm bringing stuff up that we talked about a couple of weeks ago and asking them how stuff is going, just kind of giving them that outlet. So, I mean, that's my big focus. But I mean, specifically, if we're focusing on mental health, it's just, they got to telling them, it's all right, we're good. You get back to it, keep your head in the game, and you're fine. Like, kids get so frustrated and down when they're not playing well. And I'm like, it's all right, man. We're playing a game. You're with your boys. We're all having fun. It's good. Just keep going.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that. I love the old keep going mantra early on today. That's fantastic. I think, Trae, watching you as a college player, at a 4-year school like a Rockford, obviously coming out of JUCO, you brought that to that locker room at Rockford University. Talk about your time as an upperclassman. Talk about your time with teammates there and what you did when guys were kind of down.
Obviously when you step on the court, it's a completely different mindset, but I was always a very laid back. So I was kind of keeping the mood light, joking around. I know it probably got Coach Webb mad a couple times, but I was always trying to keep it light and make sure, play the game because you love it and it's fun. And that's what I always remembered, just have fun with it.
No doubt, no doubt, especially when you have a team like you guys did in those years. I was laughing, Trae. I was going down memory lane at Rockford earlier this week trying to find pictures, and I came across your triple-double, man, as an upperclassman RU. And I just remember just when you turned it on, man, you were fun to watch. When you were in that zone, mental performance-wise, what did it for you? Like, what made you elite when you were in that zone?
Man, my dad was a basketball coach. I had a basketball court in my barn. I just was around it all the time. Like that was just my blood. That's all I knew, play basketball. And, with the pressure situations and stuff, that's what you dream of. That's what you're picturing as a kid and stuff. So it was never like, it wasn't mentally draining on me because I loved it. Like that's what I wanted.
Yeah, no, it's a fantastic answer. I'm smiling ear to ear, man, because it's fun to watch you now grow as a coach and as a husband and just who you are for your community, man. And correct me if I'm wrong, Trae, like you're one of the best ball players Mendoza's seen, man. Like you are, straight up. Like you are. And it's a compliment to things like that. You worked your butt off because you had great parents, you had great friends. We were talking about Rossi earlier. It's fun, man. I love watching you play, and you're one of my favorite hoopers I've watched. Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, appreciate it, brother.
Always, bro.
One thing that you said that stood out to me is like when you do make a mistake, don't make that mistake make another 5 mistakes. It happened. It's okay for any athlete that may be in their head about a shot or a at bat in baseball. For me, I was a baseball player. I always had a hard time of like, man, I was looking back at my at bats instead of forward. Look what's in front of you instead of behind you. That's key. I think
huge
that you said there.
I agree.
Yeah, that's one of the things, we say a lot, like don't let this play affect the next one. And I think that's huge in every sport and even kind of life when you're thinking about it.
No doubt. No doubt. And you saw that on the court as a player for you. You'd make a mistake, maybe an early foul early on, and like you're talking to yourself. Like, what am I doing? Like, come on, let's go. I remember that. And then Deemer will have a foul or Ross will have a foul early in the game or a play turns the ball over on a press or whatever. And you're like right with him, like let him, hey, we're good. Like, we're good. We're good. And that always stuck with me. And that's why one of the reasons I wanted to have you on today. Another reason is obviously I know Trae, the basketball player, and you said it earlier in the conversation. Talk about Trae, the family man now. Talk about Trae, the coach. What has changed for you, man, since college? Talk to me.
Oh, lots changed, man. I got married to my beautiful wife back in July.
Shout her out, baby. Shout her out.
Yep, Addison. She's actually sitting in the other room right now. I don't know if she can hear me, but yeah, man, it's been great. We bought a house. We both work at the same town. Been busy with coaching and school and everything. So, it's honestly been great, man. Couldn't be happier.
Yeah, I'm proud of you, man. And we do have a preface on this podcast. I got to ask you, man, like, you come on this podcast today as a young man that I'm super proud to know, but it wasn't always this way. You went through a lot of injuries, a lot of adversity. And just letting you know, Trae, like these guys and these girls that listen to this podcast, they know my story. They know the Rockford days. They know what I kind of did. Talk about your keep going moment, man. Someone that should have broke a normal person down that you got through.
Yeah, I mean, it was actually kind of funny. My mom found like one of my kindergarten notebooks, and I was writing in there. I was talking about like, oh, I really like playing basketball. It's what I want to do all the time, but I can't play for too long because my knees start to hurt. And that was when I was like 5 years old. Shout out to my dad for giving me poor genetics with my knees and everything. But yeah, man, I've had 7 surgeries. I had a double knee surgery, junior year of college, dislocated the shoulder. That caused me problems for about a year, but it was one of those things where once you finally get back and everything, it's like, all right, well, now I'm doing what I love. And you kind of put those past you and, just keep going and keep grinding because that's, what you enjoy to do. And if I didn't love doing it, then I probably wouldn't have kept doing it.
Yeah. And once again, being there, especially the shoulder. I remember the tail end of the shoulder being like, this dude doesn't have anything there in that shoulder. He's kept going out there. For your teammates, man, that's the guy that you want to play for. Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah. Just for any athlete that is going through an injury, just talk a little bit about the injury process and what did you focus on every single day during that process of injuries throughout your career? Because a lot of people struggle with the belief side of things of like, am I going to be the same player as I was going through that rehab process? Talk a little bit about like that side of it as well.
Yeah, I mean, surgery obviously is never fun and stuff, but like, it was always because something was hurting and something was holding me back. So like my mindset was always just, yeah, this sucks. It sucks going through the rehab. The pain sucks, but like and I never didn't believe that I wouldn't come out better than what I was before. And, that's just what I always had to keep telling myself. Like, once you get back, once you heal it, once you get strong, like it's going to be better than before. You're going to become a better player. You're going to feel better. So that was always my belief, and I just had to stick to it.
Yeah. I got some athletes at my facility that needed to hear that. Thank you.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Yeah. That's freaking awesome, man. I love it. Dave, I want to do this, man. Let's go into questions here. Per usual, I'm not going first. I'm going to have Dave rapid fire some questions at you, Trae.
Yeah, I got a new one for this week. If there's one habit that someone should be doing every single day, what would it be?
Love that.
Man, I think it's just waking up with a mindset. Like, you got to have a plan. You got to know what you're doing that day, and you got to know the purpose of that plan and what the outcome is that you want.
Love that.
Go ahead. You want to expand on that? Go ahead.
I mean, pretty much waking up with that purpose every day. I mean, that's what you got to have, and you got to know why you're doing it and how you're doing it and what you're doing it for.
Yeah, give me an example because I got to dig into that because that's well spoken, dude. Give me an example.
Well, like, I mean, especially now with with me trying to juggle coaching and hoops and school and everything, like, it's just I know when I wake up, I know what I got to get done for school. I know I got to get the practice plans done. I know what I want for my team to accomplish that day in practice. And usually I have it planned out the night before. I'm thinking about it. But when I wake up, I know what I'm doing that day. School sucks. Nobody wants to be doing school, but I know what the eventual outcome is, and that's what I want, and that's what I'm going for.
That's the answer I wanted. I got a mentor of mine, a friend of mine, Ned Colleran, who I don't know if you've met him in Wrigleyville, probably a time or two.
Probably.
You have. You've ran into that guy. I love Ned Colleran. He came on, two-sport athlete at St. Mary's. Check the episode out. And he talked about setting up his stuff the night before to have success the day after. And I think that's what you just hit on, man. That is so money. That is such a big thing. And such a big thing for athletes that want to get to this top of the mountain. They want to play college athletics. They want to coach, whatever it may be. Here's a new one for you too, Dave. We were prepared this week. Look at us, man. Don't take this too literal. The best competitor of all time in anything. Give me the best competitor of all time.
I'm going MJ.
All right, tell me why.
And you can always have the arguments about if he's the greatest or not, and he is, but I won't argue about that. But I mean, you could just, if you watch The Last Dance, and you could see how his mindset was just different. Everything's a competition, and he did whatever it took to be the best. And I mean, even if that meant getting in teammates' faces and pushing them to be better. But the one thing I love about The Last Dance is, MJ talks about, yeah, maybe I was a tyrant, maybe I wasn't the best teammate, but like I wanted to win, but I wanted them to win too. And, kind of being able to step out of that comfort zone and get people up to that level. I mean, that takes dedication, and that's the definition of grinding right there.
Yeah, MJ's my guy. You know that we've had these conversations. I got a black, I got a red, I got a white in the closet. That's the guy. That's the guy.
Absolutely.
Go ahead. Yes, sir. Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with that guy for sure. What's the best advice you've heard from someone, and who?
It kind of sounds silly, but I remember my 8th grade season. We were playing actually Ottawa Shepherd, who was way better than us, and they'd killed us twice already in the year. And my dad came into my room before I left for school, and he goes, "Hey, if you're gonna go down in flames." And that was something that I even remember in college. When I was facing like Benedictine and some of these schools that were really good, I'm like, "Hey, if we're gonna go down, we're gonna go down in flames." And the other one is my dad always told me, you're the best player on this court until somebody proves otherwise. And those two things are just things that I repeated to myself in the middle of games, the beginning of games. And that was just kind of my mindset going in.
Young hoopers, you better run that shit back. That's all I got to say. Like, that is, you know what, dude, the Little Tykes hoop is up. I'm gonna have to get some jumpers up after that, because that is, Trae, that's unreal, man. And your dad is a fantastic human being, by the way. We've touched on him a little bit already.
Absolutely.
That doesn't surprise me at all. All right, I got one more, Trae, and I'll let you get back to your homework here. I'm gonna kind of give you your flowers moment, man. Has there been anything on the podcast today that you haven't covered, that you went into this saying, I got to cover this for this podcast? Go ahead.
I mean, I think the biggest thing is finding that purpose, finding what you love to do and do it. I mean, I think so many times people get bogged down trying to fit a certain mold that other people have for them, or expectations. I mean, find what you love and do it every day, and do it as hard as you can. And everything else kind of works itself out.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Dave, anything to say to Trae before I cap us off here? Go ahead, Dave.
Oh, I thank you for coming on here today, sharing your story, shining some light, and I know it helped me and other people today. So thank you for your impact today.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. It was nice to meet you too.
I love it, Trae. Trae Blumhorst, man, a teammate, a brother, a son, a husband, just a molder of young men. And Trae, listening to you now, how many years later, I'm proud of your growth, brother, and I always got your back. I love you, brother.
I appreciate it, bro. You too. Everything you're doing is amazing, man, and I love to see it. I think what you're doing serves a huge purpose, and need more people like you in this world, P.O.
Appreciate you, Trae. And hey, man, likewise, it's mutual. This is a great one today for all hoopers. Please run it back all the time, and above all else, keep going, guys. Appreciate you guys.